Hi folks, I got some visitors today. I got my two nephews over here, Reed and Michael, in from Indianapolis, and my parents coming to visit so they can check out what's going on in the beehive. So I'm going to put this in the tree and we're going to get started. Now it's been a couple of weeks since I was inside because I've been in Alaska with my Boy Scouts. I'm telling you folks, stay in the Scouts, it'll get you to Alaska. Oh, I forgot to show. Look at the front of my beehive. I'd say it's a little warm. Bees are bearding all over the outside, doing their funny little dances. Up and down. Okay, back in the tree. Okay. So you see on the front there, see how they're all over the front? That's because it's hot inside. Do you like to hang out inside when the air conditioner's broken? No. No, you go outside, right?
My dad's called it air conditioning as well.
Is it?
I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. Smoker go out?
Nope, it's smoking.
Oh, there we go. Gotta get it smoking up a little bit here. So the first thing we always do is we put a little smoke in the front door so that they know we're coming. And look at that. See how they move all out of the way? They probably aren't all going to go inside because it's too hot. And while that's working, doing its magic, undo my special Boy Scout knots here. Hey ladies. So all the bees that do all the work in the beehive are the lady bees. The boys are lazy. They sit around, oh, spider. They sit around and eat and do other things.
Do they know your smell now?
No, because these bees, most of them, weren't around when I went to Alaska. They only last about 35 days. And so, I forgot to put my veil on. So, within 35 days or so, they all kind of recycle. The only ones that are still left around are is the queen bee. What's that? Yeah, you can come on right over here. They don't want to hurt you. You see that stuff that looks like glue around the edges here?
Yeah.
That's called propolis. And they make that from the sap from the trees. And they use it to glue together all the little cracks in the beehive. Now I purposely left some cracks so that the beehive would breathe a little bit. Just look and make sure that Her Majesty the Queen is not on here before I walk over. See, look at all these guys, ladies. Almost all of these are girl bees. This one right here, see how it's bigger than these? That's a boy. That's a boy. The boys don't have any stingers. The boys can't sting. But these bees don't really want to hurt you. They're just worried about their house. So as long as we leave them alone and don't mess up their house too much, then they'll leave us alone. I'm going to look around here while I have these in my hand, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see whether there's anything wrong. Wings all look good. They don't seem to have any little bugs attached to them, although they're very hard to tell because they're on the bottom side. They got a lot of boys on this. Those bigger ones with the big eyes, those are boys. That one's a boy. That one's a boy.
And you said they're lazy.
They're lazy. They're sitting around on the top here, waiting for someone to bring them some food, waiting for some water, or waiting for a lady bee. See this one? Sitting here flapping its wings? That's an air conditioning bee. That's what all its job is to move the air around so that the air conditioning, so that the air moves around and it gets cool. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. And I'm only going to do a quick check. I'm going to check a couple of these to see how they look, because I put this new box on right before I left for Alaska, because this one was almost full. These two boxes are for honey. They live down here, and they make honey in these.
And that smoke doesn't hurt them at all.
Nope. No, it does make them a little bit less productive for a couple of days, because they're, see now how they all just cleared out of the way? What they did is they just dove down there and started to eat up some honey in case they have to run out of their house. So what this tool is for is to make it easier for me to get these pieces of the beehive out. Like so. So when I put this box in, there was not even any honeycomb on it. It was all just plain wax. And they built all this honeycomb in the past 2 weeks while I've been gone. And that's what they're going to use to store their honey. Yeah, look at all these bees, huh? Yeah.
Closer, Michael, with me. Come with me.
Him?
Yeah.
See how busy they are? And see how it looks like there's water inside those? That's from all the flowers. They're grabbing all the nectar, and that's what they're going to turn into honey. See this one? Whoop. See this one with his head stuck in there and his butt sticking out? Right there. Right there. He's eating some. Eating some. That's because he smelled the smoke, or she smelled the smoke, and she said, well, wait a minute. I got to make sure I got something to take with me.
Do the boys do anything?
No, they do nothing. They sit around. They're lazy. Lazy boys.
So basically, if the hive is disturbed, they just sit there.
If the hive what?
Is disturbed.
Is disturbed? Yeah. They sit there because they can't, they don't attack because they have no stingers.
Like, what if it's like raining?
If it's raining, there's a cover on the hive. So,
Like out in the wild.
usually they build inside of a tree or something. So I'm going to lean this here just so I have some room to work on a couple more here. Take a look and see what we got. Come on, ladies, out of the way. I don't want to squish you. Yeah, that one, this is a lot heavier, which means it's a lot fuller. It has a lot more honey on the inside, a lot more nectar on the inside. They still haven't put any covers on it yet, so until they put a cover on it, we can't eat it.
What do you mean, like?
So they're going to put covers across the top of those. See the liquid inside?
Yeah.
Once it's dry enough and it turns into honey, they'll put wax on top. Seal it in there. Kind of like what they're starting to do right there. See how some of those are partially covered?
Yeah.
They're going to cover it all completely up once it's all wax. Once that happens, then it's wax that I can take. It's not very nice though, huh?
Yeah.
They work so hard and I go and steal it all.
So all your honey is basically free?
All my honey is what?
Basically free.
Basically free. Well, yeah. Aunt Becky would not agree that this is a free thing. I did have to pay for the bees. I had to pay for the smoker. Actually, the smoker came from Aunt Becky's dad. Came from, I had to buy the beehive. There we go. So see how it's all starting to get covered up there? See all that white stuff covering it all up?
Oh
Look
yeah, on the top there.
here.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, completely covered up.
See,
So I'm really glad that I put this extra box on top before I went to Alaska, because otherwise they would have run out of room in this first box and they would have filled up their whole house with honey. There would have been no more room for baby bees. It would have been like filling in the whole nursery with junk.
Now, how many boxes do you have?
I have a couple of extra boxes, but I don't have the frames, so I'm going to have to go and get some more frames. But this is probably full, and I can probably extract this and then put it back on. Oh yeah. See, almost completely capped over. Once it's all capped over and white, then it's honey that I can take. So this is looking really good up here in the top.
Can you take the ones like right now that are honey?
I could, but I want the one whole piece, one of these whole things to be covered in white. Once the whole thing is covered in white, then, because otherwise I'll be getting some honey and some that's not quite honey yet. Which is fine if I'm going to eat it right now, but if I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, then it's not good. It'll ferment. It'll start to bubble, turn into mead, which isn't a bad thing, but not what I'm looking for. Oh, let me squish these back together, and I'm going to put this one back in. So I'm going to call this looks to be about 35 to 40% complete here. So for my records up there. You guys are going to get to see yourself on YouTube later on once I put this up. It's going to make Liam cranky though, because when I put things up on YouTube, it makes it so his games don't work very well.
Why?
Because it slows them down. Because they're big videos. But you know what? Tough nuggies, chuggies. Oop, squished one. Try not to squish too many. Because when you squish them, they give out another smell that says, hey, there's something wrong. Something squished a bee. Go figure out what it was. And I don't want that to be me. Or you guys.
Yeah,
Have you
'cause we
gotten
don't have
stung
one
at
of
all?
those.
2 minutes ago.
Mosquito hood
But do you find that you really can't manipulate without having your hands free?
I squish too many. If I put the gloves on, then I'm not as careful. And if I'm not as careful, then I injure too many. And then once too many of them release their alarm pheromones, then it's unworkable. Hey, out of the way, ladies. We gotta squish this one over. Okay, now I'm just gonna take a quick peek. I'm gonna take this whole box right off. I'm gonna take a quick peek at this box. Then I'm gonna close it back up because it's already hot. They're already cranky.
So like you can take whole boxes off.
Yep, I can take the whole box off. Take the whole box right off. Stick it right up on end like this. I'm just going to take a quick peek at a couple of them in here because I think these should be completely done. Because they shouldn't have put stuff in the top if this one wasn't done. But bees don't always read the same books as me, so sometimes they do something different than the books say they're going to do. See that? Almost completely covered. That's just a fly, that's not a bee. See that? Almost completely capped. So I'll show the people out there in YouTube land. Almost completely capped. And I'm just going to check one more, but I'm guessing I'm going to find the same thing.
You down back?
Oh yeah.
That side's completely capped.
Yep, look at that. Completely 100% capped. That's ready to extract right
So
there.
take that one.
That's ready
See
to
that? That's
extract.
ready. See how it's completely 100% white all the way across? See that, folks?
And on the other side?
Now, it doesn't look like it's 100% on the other side.
It's not, because these are the two outside frames. They tend to take the longest to get to the outside. But the fact that that one is 100% and that was on the inside, I'm looking at the next one, it's 100%. I bet you if I go all the way to the second to last one, it would be 100% on the inside frames, and then partially done on the outside like this, partially done on the very last one there.
So then, when you say you would take that whole box off and extract,
Yep.
how do you extract them and get rid of the bees without picking the bees?
So, well, that's an interesting question because I haven't had to do that yet.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, the two times I've extracted one, I pulled out 3 different frames, and it was from the big boxes because they had filled in too much of their house, and so then I just shook them off. But the easiest way is to put what's called an escape board. So you lift up the 2 honey boxes and put a board in that has basically a one-way exit. They can get through and down, but they can't get back up. And then, if you really are in a rush, you can put a chemical on the top called BB Gone or Bee Gone that will drive them down, and they'll get down as fast as possible. And yet, some people do it with a leaf blower. They have a leaf blower set up on a stand here, and they take one of the frames and go stick in another box. I don't think that's very nice, so I don't intend to do that. And then I have a homemade extractor that I got from Steve Aquila, and it's a trash can basically with a rotary basket inside. We also have a guy at work who has an electric motorized extractor. So I think once these 2 boxes are full, I'm going to borrow the rotary one that he told me I could borrow because it's faster, it's cleaner, and it's a lot more efficient. And it's not a lot of crank, crank, crank. But I usually do that at night because it kind of makes a mess in the kitchen.
Sting. None of them's landing.
Yeah, Erin, when I'm doing one of these inspections, she'll stand right here, right next to me. Yep, you don't want to get in the front. Get in the front, then they get cranky.
But the back.
The back, that's why I stand in the back, because they don't fly in and out of the back, they fly in and out of the front.
They're fun to
Yep.
animals.
Okay, so now looking, I'm gonna have a few bees on the bottom here. We'll just smoke those out of the way, and a few bees in the way here. I don't want to squish them. So we'll get them to move off the edges of the box here. So that when I put this back on, I have as little damage to the bees as possible.
It's on the edge.
Underneath.
Right here. The problem is with an open box like this, they really don't have any place to go.
But then before you put it on the top, there's a bunch of
Yep.
what?
Yep, there is. So, Whoa.
What?
Whole big clump just fell out. Just fell off. Okay, I would step back over there while I put the cover on here, just in case they get a little cranky. See all these ones with their butts in the air? They're all trying to get that smoke out of the way.
See how nice he's talking to the bees? I think it's kind of like when he ran into that grizzly bear we were talking about this morning. When he called them
Right along the
yokels.
edge from between your hand and me.
Yeah.
You want to smoke it?
No, we,
Now if I do it gently, then they will realize something's going wrong here and they will slowly move out of the way. See how I put these wooden shims? See how there's a crack there around the edge?
Yeah.
Put that in so that there'd be some extra air flowing through. And you see how they filled it all up with that glue? That means they didn't really want the extra air going through. That's a case of the beekeeper thinking he's doing the right thing, and the bees go, not right, wrong thing.
Yeah, but then they're all hot.
Yeah, right.
well, that's what he thought he was being nice.
I thought I was fixing that problem. Drop this.
Well, they're wild animals. Like,
You're absolutely right.
if they were wild bees, they would, you know, seal it up.
Just gonna help these bees that fell off here out of this hole. There you go, ladies. All right. All right. And we put the rope back on. You know what the rope's for?
Keep it in shut.
Yep. Because some days here in Paxton, it gets pretty windy.
Would that also keep bears out if they were around?
Not really.
Oh, they would figure it out.
They just rip it on. They're just too strong. I got my fancy Boy Scout trucker's hitch with the taut line hitch here to keep it tight. What do you think, huh? Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, the bees say goodbye. And what did the boys say?
That's the buzz here in Paxton.
That's the buzz here in Paxton. All right, I'm the Beekeeping Bushman. See you next time.